Hey everyone, welcome back to GregTech New Horizons, and Happy New Year! We have a lot to do today, and I actually do think today is the day we get to low voltage. To pick up where we left off, we need to make a flint and steel, which should be easy. It's just like a few rods, a plate, and then that is used to make a spring and gear. So let's get started with that. We can now build a portal to the Nether, so let's go find a place to do that. So the portal is right next to where the ore berries are, the same staircase that leads down here. And I think we're ready to go in. We have a couple stacks of cobblestone to build a little room around where the portal ends up being. Hopefully nowhere dangerous, but it is the Nether, so you can expect to be in danger pretty much the whole time. Alright, nothing bad so far, just need to clear out some of these patches of grass that will set you on fire if you stand on them. And my shovel just broke. Okay, I need to fix this and hopefully get this stuff sorted out before the mobs start spawning. Yeah, I'm gonna start with clearing some of this out and building a little room around this portal. And then we'll see about exploring the Nether a little bit. Also got imp skin armor from the quest rewards, which has protection enchantments already. So that, along with the room, should keep us safe in the Nether. Let's make a little hole out here so we can see. There's another fortress like right there. That is really lucky. Yeah, we're gonna definitely go explore that. Alright, I made a somewhat safe path from our portal to the Nether fortress. And I've basically just been filling in blocks to make sure we don't fall and also to make sure whatever's outside doesn't get in. So let's begin exploring this a little bit. And this place is pretty crazy looking. There's a wasp nest like right over there. And probably even more dangerous mobs around us. I did want to mine up some of this nether brick for some nether furnaces that are, I don't think they're faster than the furnaces that we have, but I do think they're more efficient. Sure no wither skeletons sneak up on me. That's a new one. I don't know if I should be scared of the chicken or the pigman. Pigman? Alright, I think that's a pretty successful first Nether trip. Probably come back to do some mining though. I just found our first vein in the Nether, and turns out it is the one that we need, the sulfur vein. We'll need to mine up a bunch of this stuff for rubber production. So let's get to work. Now we can get these more efficient nether furnaces using the nether bricks we got from that fortress. We can make more, but I'll just probably make 8. And we can use the netherrack to make a lumber axe, which doesn't have the best durability or mining speed, but we can level it up really quickly because of that. And that will let us add modifiers quicker and eventually make this thing unbreakable. And this thing would have been really useful when I needed all that wood for building. One of the first side quests I want to do for today is to make this charcoal pile igniter. It's a pretty big multi-block, but luckily the only actual block you need is the igniter. The rest is a variable size of bricks, dirt, and the amount of wooden logs that you want to turn into charcoal. It should give us a pretty good amount. Okay, I'm gonna put this thing in the middle block, and okay, it's running fine, but it hasn't started yet. I don't know if I have to light it, maybe with like the flint and steel or something. Oh, never mind, it started. All right, 269 seconds. I want to see how much charcoal this is going to give us. Okay, it's done. So basically the logs that we put in there all get turned into the brittle charcoal here. So let me remove all the dirt first. Okay, so this requires an axe to break. So maybe I can use the lumber axe. Nope, have to use the hatchet. Alright, so one layer gave us about 3 stacks. That's not bad. I think the max height we can go is like 5 or 6 layers. So I just want to build like a little test here and just see how high we can put it. So 6 logs is too much. I'm going to put it one lower. Okay, give it a second. It's going to take a little while before it starts. There we go. So this is 5 logs high. I'm going to try to fill this up, this entire like brick surface up with logs. Okay, that's not bad. 602 seconds. That is really not bad at all. The whole thing was cleared out. Now we can see how much we got. Okay, yeah, that's worth it. 890. Yeah, besides the giant like dirt house in front of our base, that is pretty good. So of course, I will fill this up and do it all over again. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna make the healing axe today. And so the first thing on our list is probably gonna be the beef Wellington. I have everything that we need bookmarked. And this one's pretty simple, just a few ingredients we already have. And we're gonna try to make 21 of everything so that we have an extra one to eat. Next on the list, sausage in bread. This one is a little bit harder. The maple sausage is probably the hardest part. Everything else we already have. So the maple tree we got from turning in a quest, some coins. And then you take the maple wood, you throw it in an extractor. It gives you maple syrup, and then you can just use that to get more saplings. To get milk, you just put a bucket of milk in the crafting table, and to get salt, you just put a bucket of water with a pot in the crafting table. And if you combine the milk and the salt with the pot, you can get cheese. Then you combine a rolling pin with some dough, some tomatoes, some meat, and the cheese, if I can find it. And you get pizzas. And yeah, that's pretty easy to make. That's actually why I've been putting a lot of it into my lunch bag. And throw some bell peppers, onions, the pizzas, and spice leaves. And you put a knife in the crafting table. You can get the supreme pizzas. Next up is fries, which is salt, rolling pin, and potatoes. There may be an easier recipe for this, but if you throw a water bucket in here, you get snow. Then you turn that into a snowman, and you get infinite snow. We need that for smoothies, which is just a snowball, a fruit, and a soft mallet. And the syrup is finally done, which means we can make the maple sausages. Crossing the sausage and bread off the list. Next up we got hamburgers, which we can turn into cheeseburgers, and we can turn those into deluxe cheeseburgers, and we can throw all that together to get the delighted meal. Next is the delighted breakfast, which the hardest thing was the potato cakes. Everything else was pretty easy. I think the hardest one to make is the rainbow curry, which requires lavender. You can only find that in a specific biome, which we don't have access to anything that can search for biomes yet. There is a Nature's Compass, but that requires an LV assembler to make. That's pretty far away. And we only need to turn in a few more gardens. I could have sworn I had a desert garden, but I guess I never found any. But yeah, just a few more. Might as well turn everything else in. Yeah, again, we're only missing the rainbow curry, which is the hardest one to make. Oh, I thought these were desert gardens, but they're tiny cactus. Okay, 10 desert gardens collected. We can turn those in now. Ooh, I just found an AE2 meteorite. I think there's a quest for collecting all the stone. Alright, textile garden complete. Now all we have left is the nether garden, then the silken tofu, and the rainbow curry. And this guy's gonna help us find the lavender biome, which if we're lucky we won't have to travel too much, but in my experience you kind of just wander till you find one. Nope. Oh my. Are you serious? Man, I really don't know where these mobs are spawning, but that spider was kind of on me, so I'm just gonna put a ceiling along this wall so it doesn't happen again. Alright, let's go look for a lavender field.
2 hours later.
Oh my god, we're finally here. Oh, that was painful. Yeah, we've basically just been wandering for a few hours and, well, here it is, the lavender biome. Okay, so we're right here, and we traveled up through here, all the way through, like, I don't even know how many biomes, in a completely random direction, by the way. We just went until we found this, and there's our base. And just to make it worse, I just ran into another one of these biomes on my way home, like a few thousand blocks ahead. Okay, the only thing we have left is the burning blossom, which is found in the nether, so we can get that in the nether gardens while we're there. These bone segments can actually be turned into bone meal, and it actually gives you a lot, so I'm gonna collect like this whole thing. Nether gardens are complete. I'm gonna put 2 of these up, and I can submit the rest. Let's go ahead and knock out the silken tofu while we're still here. We also need to make curry rice, which if I can find my saucepan. We have the ingredients for it. Let's go ahead and make it. I'm also going to throw in some sulfur with rubber dust and make rubber. I'm also going to fill this up a little bit so it can keep making it while I'm gone. And I just spotted some burning blossoms, like right next to our portal actually. 22 down, time to go home. And finally, we have everything we need for the rainbow curry. That is the last thing we need to submit, which means we can now claim a healing axe. Alright, before we move on, I want to open up all these loot bags. And we got trash. Yep, nothing but trash and some food that we haven't eaten yet. Rubber bars are finished. I think there's a quest for that. Wire wrap. You know what? Let's get started on LV. Got myself a little work table here so that when we have to make all these parts, we don't have to like constantly search up the recipe. We can just select it from the work table itself. So this red alloy wire is going to need some plates. Let's go ahead and get some of those. These took pretty long. It was like 40 seconds per recipe. Yeah, all these recipes are pretty slow and really inefficient right now. But once we make some LV machines, they're going to be way better, way easier to make. Anyways, that's the first quest complete. Wired weird. Up next, see, we got this. We can just complete this. We'll choose later. Next up, I think we're gonna do the motor. Okay, there we go. Oh, I gotta put the cables in. Okay, we got our first 2 motors. So quest complete. Next is our LV machine casing, which is just a wrench surrounded by steel plates. That one's pretty easy. And we use that to make the LV machine hull. This one's the base of every LV machine. Next we got some resistors, pretty easy to make as well. This next one is going to be a little annoying though, this molds quest. You're going to need a lot of aluminum, brass, and steel to make these. Just going to put a chest down, I'm having some storage issues already. Now we can put one of those molds to use, the ball mold. If you make a bunch of glass dust and you throw it in an alloy smelter, you can make glass tubes. And finally, we can make vacuum tubes. Next we got the circuit boards, which do require a lot of copper wires. And finally, all of that to make LV electronic circuits. We'll be making way more of these. To put our first circuits to use, we're going to be making a basic steam turbine that does require 2 tin rotors and some of the parts we already made. That is to make our steam turbine. This actually means we have moved on to the LV age. Looking at the LV tab, there is a lot to do here. Now before we do this, I do want to get a few other things knocked out. First things first, I really want to make a bag because, yeah, we have way too many storage issues, and the backpack is pretty cheap. Just gotta wait for this leather to dry out. Alright, backpack is finished. And we actually get a pretty good amount of space here. Now if we make these iron minecart wheels, we can use those to make a dolly. We can use that to move our chests around if we need to. First up, for the LV machines, we're going to make a basic wire mill. Now without the wire mill, you have to take a plate, cut it with the wires to get a single copper wire. With the wire mill, you can just take the ingot and turn it into 2 wires. Now the question is, where are we going to place these machines though? So I was thinking that we move the steam machines back here. So for example, we can put like 2 machines here, like this. And we take the wrench to export the steam from the sides. And we can just feed the steam in from the back. So I'll probably move this pipe to the back here and then feed the steam in through here. And finally, we get ourselves a wire mill. So I did want to test something before we set all this up in our world. So this is a random world creative mode, and I'm gonna make it rain. I want to see if letting it, okay, yeah, no, that, yeah, so as you saw, unless you have the machines fully covered, so 9 by 9, there's a chance for them to catch on fire. I just wanted to see how much I had to cover. Yeah, it looks like 9 by 9 is good. So you don't want to just set up your machines outside in the rain, because if you do, this will happen. That's no good. I'm gonna set up a roof here in the area where we had our steam machines, and we're gonna use this area for LV. Not too bad. I might change some of the blocks out for stairs, but other than that, looks pretty good. Then the steam turbine, we're gonna put like right here. The turbine outputs 1 amp, so I'm just gonna use 1 times 10 cable and put them out like this. And our Wiremill, our first LV machine, we put here. Check this out. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. That is so much more efficient than what we were doing before. It can even auto output the items, so if we use the wrench to set the direction there, we can, so this chest doesn't work. The top's blocked by the Wiremill, but there is a slightly larger chest we can make that will work. All it takes is a few wooden planks. So if you put the slightly larger chest under the machine and turn the output on, it gets output to the chest and we can open it. It just started to rain, and I noticed that there's like water dripping through the ceiling. I don't think this is like actually water coming through. I think it's just like particles, but I might test it just to be safe. Yeah, it's safe. This is the same setup covered by stairs, slabs, and regular blocks, and nothing is blowing up, so we're good. And to make inputs easier, we're gonna make hoppers. And we can put it on top of each machine like this. Put a chest on top. Oh, you know, I don't think we can open this. Yeah, it's blocked by the great wood. Okay, maybe I'll change that block for stairs instead. Man, this is great. All right, so the chest up there, put any ingots into it. It gets sent down into the Wiremill, and it gets sent down to this chest. Next up, we have the basic bending machine, which will give us a 1-to-1 ratio to make plates instead of 3-to-2 using the forge hammer. This one is a little hard to make. This one does require some pistons, but everything else is stuff we've already made, so let's get to it. Alright, basic bending machine. Man, can't believe we already have 2 of these machines already. I'm going to do the same setup here, put the chest under there, and set the output down, auto output on, set the recipe to 1, and throw in some steel ingots. Man, look at that. That is great. So I actually moved the bending machine to the right, Wiremill to the left, because it does use more power, and we're kind of struggling with our steam here. We're having to turn this off and on so that we let the steam build up a little bit, and then run some more recipes, let it run out of steam. Went mining in the Nether and got a lot of tetrahedrite ore. This thing in a macerator, the Nether ore, can actually make 4 crushed ore instead of just 2. Tetrahedrite smelts into copper, so we are set. Time to put some of our Nether furnaces to use here. And to fix the steam issues, we're just going to replace all these with large bronze fluid pipes. Alright, large pipes flowing all the way down from the steam tank output. Another machine to make for today, the Lathe. It'll help us make rods and screws easier. And another upgrade to our steam production, 2 high pressure solar boilers. This is going to help us not run out of steam. And I think the last LV machine for today is going to be the LV assembler, which is probably the hardest but also the best machine because it unlocks a lot of recipes, including where we're going at the end of the episode. So we're going to be making this quick and dirty portal generator, which it just requires 4 circuits, 1 diamond, and that will unlock the Twilight Forest. Let's see if we can get lucky and get 2 circuits from the loot bags. No, just trash again. All we need is a 4x4 surrounded with flowers and water buckets inside the 4x4. And I figured let's just use lavender since they were so hard to get. And finally throw the quick and dirty portal generator inside the water. Alright, I don't think we need to prepare or anything. Let's just go ahead and jump in. We really made a lot of progress today. We got the healing axe, we reached LV, we made it to the Twilight Forest, of course. And well, that's going to be it for today though. So thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.